My beloved, my golden light, you are not reading this by mistake. Heaven has been holding back this message, waiting for the exact moment your heart would be soft enough, open enough, wounded enough to finally see what's been happening in silence. Today is that moment. This message is hidden in love but wrapped in emergency because someone, yes, a woman who has been speaking to you like a friend, smiling at you like a sister, has been secretly planning your end. God told me to tell you that if you skip this now and walk away thinking it's just another message, then you may never know how close you came tonight, closer than ever. My child, don't be afraid, but don't take this lightly. She doesn't wear black robes or fly on a broom, she cooks sweet words, she blends lies with blessings, she plays victim but drinks the poison she poured for you. And tonight she had decided it was time, but heaven blocked it. Why? Because you opened this, because in this exact second, your soul aligned with the divine shield of heaven and Archangel Michael stepped in. He stood with his sword burning and said aloud in the courts of heaven, "No, not this one, this soul belongs to God." Listen closely. The next 4 minutes of your attention can change the next 40 years of your life, but if you scroll, if you skip, you will only hear the echo of what could have saved you. God says this woman carries bitterness, she has told people your secrets, she has smiled in rooms where you were being discussed like meat, she has visited places just to drop your name in darkness. She doesn't know you're God's beloved. My child, my beauty, you may feel numb right now because part of you already suspected. Your spirit already screamed, but you silenced it out of love, but love without wisdom is a silent killer. You are not crazy, you are not paranoid, you are not imagining this. Your dreams were trying to warn you, that strange heaviness in your chest when you think of her, that cold air when she enters the room, the blessings that suddenly stop flowing every time she hugs you. That was not a coincidence, that was a sign. Heaven gave her time to stop, but she didn't. She told the wrong people about you, she spoke curses into your name, she even went to someone who opens gates of darkness tonight. She was told it's done, it will happen, but heaven laughed because God had other plans. You're still here, you're reading this, you're not skipping this, and that means you've already shifted something massive in the spirit world. Now pause, take a breath, touch your heart, say quietly, God, I received this message, I believe you are protecting me. Let this be your subscription not just to words, but to your divine rescue, because the rest of this message is not just a warning, it's your strategy, it's your escape, it's your power being returned. Keep reading, because if you stop here, she'll sense the spiritual door halfway opened and she'll try again, not in the same way, but through someone else. Do not let this seed of warning be wasted, do not let your miracle be delayed again. God told me, tell my child this truth is wrapped in fire, but inside the flames is gold. Tell them that I don't just expose danger, I destroy it, and I am about to do both tonight. You must do nothing but listen. Don't confront her, don't text, don't warn, don't cry, just stay close to this message because every word you read cuts a string she tried to tie around your life. You were her obsession, her envy wore perfume and her hate wore smiles, but she's being unmasked, not by you, but by heaven. And when it happens, it will be shocking, but you'll be safe because you opened this, because you didn't skip, because you knew deep in your gut this isn't entertainment, it's a rescue operation. God says they will see you rise from the trap they planned. You are the testimony that even a weapon formed at midnight can break before it reaches morning. And now, my child, stay with me because what I say next is what she never wanted you to know. She never thought you'd find out, she never imagined that the same God who gives rain and sunrise would bother to speak to you personally like this. She never imagined you'd become so spiritually awake that you'd stop ignoring the signs, but here you are, awake in the middle of the night or distracted in the middle of the day, and suddenly this message reaches you like a thunderbolt whispered by heaven itself. You didn't click by mistake, you didn't pause by accident. The realm of light has been surrounding you, pulling strings in silence just to get you here, and now the truth must unfold, no matter how heavy, no matter how unbelievable. She used to sit beside you, she used to listen to your pain. You opened your soul thinking you were talking to someone safe, but she was collecting your weaknesses like a hunter marks a map. You didn't know it then, but every time you cried, she secretly rejoiced. You were feeding her need to feel stronger. She didn't want to be you, she wanted to destroy you so that she could wear your life like a stolen crown. God saw all of it, from the first fake compliment to the last whispered plan, and God's spirit grieved because you loved her, because you trusted her, because even now there's a part of your heart that still wants to protect her. But my beloved, you cannot protect what is planning to bury you, you cannot cover what is cursing your name while bowing their head in fake prayer. God is not angry with you for loving her, He is just asking you to finally let Him take it from here. No more reasoning with demons, no more excusing evil in the name of loyalty, no more denying the storm that's already knocking on your door, because tonight she thought she would win. She thought your silence was weakness, she thought your kindness was blindness, but heaven has made a decision. Her time of hiding is over, Michael has drawn the sword, the angels have surrounded your house, the traps set in the spirit have been reversed, and now everything she has said, whispered, planned, and sent is coming back to her doorstep. This isn't revenge, this is justice, divine, holy, uncontestable justice. You, child of heaven, are not allowed to go down in silence. You are not permitted to be swallowed by betrayal. You were born with too much light, too much purpose, too much of God's fingerprint to be destroyed by someone fueled by bitterness. Let this sentence echo in your spirit, you will live and she will watch it. Yes, she will witness your rise, not just a financial rise, not just love or favor, she will watch your spirit rise into full clarity. You will laugh again, but this time with full awareness. You will love again, but this time with holy wisdom. You will walk again, but this time with your feet protected by angels every step of the way. This message isn't here to scare you, it's here to wake up the lion sleeping inside your soul. It's here to remind you God isn't just watching, He's moving right now, and you're not alone, because I, Archangel Michael, have been standing behind you even when you felt like giving up, even when you cried yourself to sleep wondering why people keep turning on you, even when you questioned, God, why do I feel so attacked and I haven't heard anyone? Because your light is loud, because your presence shakes hidden evil, because your calling is dangerous to the darkness. That's why she couldn't stop talking about you, that's why she couldn't celebrate your wins, that's why she wanted to erase you before the world saw what heaven always saw. But the tables have turned, heaven is not asking you to fight, heaven is asking you to trust. And now in this sacred moment, before this message goes cold, before your phone rings, before distractions pull you away, God is asking you one thing: stay, listen, and surrender. Surrender the pain, surrender the confusion, surrender the revenge, and instead let God finish what He just started. Subscribe now to Heaven's plan, not just with a click, but with your spirit. Say quietly under your breath, God, I believe this is for me, I choose light, I choose protection. I choose to believe that I am being rescued even now. Now you are sealed in light. The next part of this message is the part that returns your power and reveals what's coming next. You've seen the darkness, now it's time to see the miracle. Let me tell you now what she never wanted you to remember. Your life was never ordinary, your birth was not a mistake. Even when you were born, the spiritual realm shifted. Even when you were a child, angels stood around you in silent admiration. You were always marked, you were always protected, and because of that, you have always been misunderstood by people who couldn't carry the weight of your purpose. She knew it, she felt it before even you did. That's why she kept her smile close and her jealousy closer. She saw how heaven responded to you, she heard your words and knew they carried weight in the spiritual realm. And she couldn't handle the fact that no matter how much she tried to dim your light, you still glowed. Now you understand why you lost so many people without explanation. Now you see why your name was dragged into rooms you've never entered. Now you realize the pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. God had to make sure that when the mask falls off this woman, you wouldn't break again. He had to strengthen your spine so that when the truth screams out of silence, you wouldn't collapse in grief, you'd rise in glory. There were nights she mentioned your name in dark company. There were moments she mocked your softness. She called your trust weakness, she called your peace naive, but she didn't know it was your mercy holding back the storm. It was your prayers that kept her alive this long. Yes. You prayed for her, you asked God to bless her, you asked Him to heal her and He tried, but when healing is rejected, darkness expands, and her soul opened the door that now cannot be closed except by divine intervention. That's why God said enough. He has seen you betrayed too many times, He's seen you cry into your own pillow, biting your tongue so you wouldn't dishonor someone who dishonored you first. He watched as you gave second chances to people who didn't even deserve your presence once. He saw how you broke in silence and smiled in public just so the people you loved wouldn't feel guilty. But this time is different. This time God is stepping in. This time the angels are not just comforting you, they are defending you. This time the sword has been drawn, and this time the liar will be silenced. You will not lose, you will not die in secret, you will not be erased, not when heaven itself has taken your side, not when this message has been delivered through divine fire, not when the most powerful angel in God's army has been assigned to you directly. Archangel Michael says the time of warnings is over. This is execution, the execution of every plan the enemy had against your name, your mind, your health, your calling, your relationships, your future. Every thread she tried to weave into your story burned, every whisper she sent behind your back reversed, every agreement she made with darkness cancelled by the courts of heaven. But you must do one thing, one sacred thing. You must stop apologizing for your anointing. You must stop explaining why you feel things others don't. You must stop shrinking just to keep others comfortable. You must remember who you are, not who they said you are. Because when God formed you, He didn't use leftover dust. He breathed the essence of prophecy into your lungs. He carved out your heart with extra softness so that you would carry mercy like royalty, and now He's demanding that you reclaim your throne. This woman tried to make you feel small, but what she didn't know is that God allowed her to get close, not to destroy you, but to expose her. The closer she came, the clearer her darkness became under the light of your spirit. She thought she was playing chess, but God already wrote the ending. Tonight, heaven is not asking for your opinion, heaven is moving, and no force of man or spirit can undo what God has declared. It is finished. Now, child, dry your tears, straighten your back, lift your eyes. This is not your burial, It is your rebirth, and the next time she speaks your name, it will tremble off her lips because she will know beyond question, beyond confusion, beyond denial that you are not just another person, you are God's divine beloved, and touching you means dealing with the army of heaven. And now God is rewriting the parts of your story that were almost stolen, yes, almost, because she got close, so close that you started questioning if you were the one at fault. You began second-guessing your own goodness, your own clarity, your own worth just to justify the unexplainable feeling of discomfort that lingered every time you interacted with her. You chalked it up to miscommunication, you blamed yourself because that's what kind people do. But my beloved, spiritual attacks rarely announce themselves in obvious ways. They wear disguises, they wear familiar faces, they carry voices that once felt like home. But home shouldn't feel like suffocation, loyalty shouldn't feel like slow poison, and love should never leave you with sleepless nights and trembling spirit. That's why God said it ends here, this battle that you didn't ask for, this pain you didn't deserve, this cycle of trusting the wrong people because of your pure heart, it ends here. The same way night has to give way to sunrise, your suffering is being commanded to release you now because you passed the test, because you didn't let their betrayal turn you cold, because you still chose love when you had every reason to choose revenge. And heaven took note every time you cried alone but refused to curse them, every time you wanted to retaliate but chose prayer instead, every time your name was dragged and you still offered help, every time your spirit bent but didn't break. Heaven wrote it down line by line, and God said, I will repay this soul for every silent war they walked through with grace. So now the reward is coming, but not just in money, not just in peace, it's coming in the form of revelation. God is giving you eyes to see the truth in people, He's removing the fog from your discernment, He's blessing you with clarity so sharp, so undeniable that no one will ever be able to deceive you again.